New World Order, you underestimated the people. You took a gamble and you lost.
Okay, we don't like this. Okay, well then we're going to do this. And that is just how it's going to be.
Evidence brought to light that there is a corrupt officer, or that officer did shoot that kid on purpose.
I don't care how I look, I don't care how I sound, I don't care what the beat is. I just care the message gets across.
What's up, everyone? This is Tinman here with the weekly report.
Lucid.
And we're just gonna go ahead and jump right into this. We ain't got any back news or any bullshit going on. So let's see what we got here. Which one do you think I should do first? These are both good.
Let's do this one first.
Okay. Putin blasts U.S. in speech, blaming West for conflict in Ukraine. Russian President Vladimir Putin blasted the United States in a speech Friday, blaming the West for a conflict in the Ukraine and weakening global and regional security. In a 40-minute fury speech to a political group in Sochi, Putin argued that the U.S. has made the world a more dangerous place by imposing a unilateral diktat in international diplomacy, Reuters reports. Putin also dismissed recent accusations that Russia was trying to expand its power in the region, statements that Russia is trying to reinstate some sort of empire, that it is encroaching on the sovereignty of its neighbors, are groundless, Putin told the group. And it just seems like the mainstream media and the United States are just trying to demonize Putin. You know
Demonize Putin?
Well, what it really comes down to is, like I've said before, Edward Snowden takes asylum in Russia. Vladimir Putin doesn't kick him out. And prior to that incident, the United States and Russia were like this. Ever since that incident, it's been a total fucking 180. Demonize Russia. Demonize Putin. Try to kill Putin. With that assassination attempt and that whole plane incident. You know, it just seems to be an onslaught. And, you know, I don't know if Putin would actually result to nuclear war. I'm not going to say that he is or that he isn't. But from what I'm seeing, it seems like Putin is the kid getting fucking bullied. Russia is the kid getting fucking bullied because he went against the grain. He didn't do what the globalist bitch squad wanted him to.
Yeah, well, my personal opinion is the less dictators, the better. Ain't much more than I could say than that. Assassination attempts on dictators, good for you.
Well, just one dictator taking out another dictator.
Dictator?
I knew that was happening. I knew that was coming.
Dictator. Is that like a tater dick? Like,
oh, it's a meme. It's a
like tater salad?
No, it's like it's a potato in the shape of a dick with Obama's head on it.
No, it's like reference to Ron White's tater salad.
They call me
Dictator.
Like, they call me tater salad. My
son, Tater Tot. Exactly.
And Barack Obama. What you got, brother?
Alright, well, this one says, White House emergency alert interrupts TV viewers across America. Infowars.com reported yesterday that Americans watching TV across the U.S. were puzzled yesterday morning when the alert from the White House came on air, interrupted their viewing. The message told them to stand by for an emergency message and warned them not to use their phones. Channels automatically changed to local news stations, but no White House message ever came, prompting confusion and concern, especially given heightened tensions amidst the Ebola crisis. The message was seen by viewers in Austin, Atlanta, Detroit, and across North Carolina, as well as other areas of the country. WSOC-TV out of Charlotte, North Carolina, later posted a statement on their website saying that they would investigate why the message went out, indicating TV and radio stations were given no advance notice of the test. An AT&T spokesperson later indicated that the alert notification was sent out erroneously. Earlier today, Uverse TV customers have received an emergency alert notification. We confirm that there is no emergency at this time, and we are investigating why this occurred. We apologize for any inconvenience. Now, that kind of sounds like the beginning role, like the beginning fucking storyline to a crazy-ass zombie apocalypse movie. Emergency message goes out, but there's no emergency message because by the time they get around to trying to send the message out, the zombies have already eaten the fucking people trying to send the message.
So zombies have eaten the person.
We could only hope.
Wow, who could resist? Speaking of zombies...
Hold on 1 second, I just want to let you know we are kind of skimming through these pretty fast.
Oh, we are.
This might be a shorter report, guys. Just kind of want to notify you guys. We do have quite a crazy main debate today, though, which might prompt a little more.
Take up the majority of the time.
Right. So go for it.
The Ebola on my tummy speeding us up. I took this.
We want to get it all done before the light goes away.
Exactly. Well, we're shooting this way earlier in the day, so we'll have plenty of light to roll with. So
right.
That's not going to be a problem. But back to what we were saying about health issues and Ebola. Yeah.
Ebola. Or like fucking...
Ebola.
Like the Haunted was saying yesterday or the day before yesterday, whenever we interviewed him, he was saying Ebola.
Yeah.
He kept saying Ebola.
Yeah, there's a meme going around, you know, considering that the government owns a patent on Ebola. It's Ebola.
Ebola?
Yeah. Barack Obama's Ebola. But here's
Barack Ebola?
Yeah, so here's a fun little tidbit for you. Health authorities are covering up Ebola-like cases in the U.S. A doctor has exclusively revealed to InfoWars that health authorities are covering up Ebola cases in the United States and disappearing patients in an effort to avoid hysteria. James Lorenzi Doe, who has 2 clinics in Garden City and Archie, Missouri, appeared on the Alex Jones show yesterday to warn that the true scale of the situation was being deliberately downplayed. It is important to note that none of these potential Ebola outbreaks occurred at the clinic in which Lorenzi works. Lorenzi said that shortly after the arrival of patient 0, Thomas Eric Duncan, in the United States, he was told by a doctor at Truman Lakewood Medical Center in Kansas City that he had taken in a possible Ebola patient who had a high fever and was bleeding out of all of his orifices, having recently returned from West Africa. The following day, Lorenzi was told by the doctor that the patient had disappeared against medical advice, but that he wouldn't have been able to leave on his own given his medical condition. So basically, this guy was so fucked up that he couldn't even fucking stand on his own 2 feet, yet he fucking just disappeared. And apparently this is not the only case that has been going on about it. There have been a few cases circulating and been posted to social media sites that Ebola patients are disappearing.
Maybe they're rising from the dead, like I told you last week about the Ebola patients. Maybe they're rising from the dead and walking off.
Maybe it's like, I'm sick of this shit. Then again, it could just be more fear porn.
This is true.
You know, you never really know with the mainstream media and all this other shit. You know, especially Alex Jones. He's been labeled a fear porn conspiracy theorist.
In regards to all this, and maybe even a little bit of what we talked about with the Haunted on the last video that we posted, We did a live, for those of you who don't know, we did a live interview, a live broadcast through, what is it, Google?
Yeah,
Google Chat.
Google Chat.
We did a live feed. We've been kind of testing the waters with that to see how that was going to go.
I'm not too impressed with it.
Well, the thing of it is that we don't have a steady schedule for people to tune in, you know what I mean? And we really haven't promoted it too much. We've just been kind of checking it out. The feed is really clippy. Anyways, aside from the review with the Google Chat thing, like we were saying when we were chatting with the Haunted, I got to give it to, Conspiracy Anon. He said it best when he said fear porn, like you were just saying too. All this stuff is fucking fear porn at its best. It's to get the people scared so that they can heighten medical bills, they can enact martial law, they can, take away your freedoms to, your freedom to wander around, and
they could be the political dictator.
Right. Dictator. We deep fry your asses. But anyway, it's just a way to enact martial law and to, take people by surprise and, basically to keep the president in the White House as long as possible. Because while martial law is enacted, I don't know if you guys know this, but while martial law is enacted, there could be no voting. There's no president stepping down. So if it happens, yeah, he's the executive leader for the entire United States. It's no longer a people's republic. It's a dictatorship, and so he could stay in office indefinitely until he wants to, let go of martial law, which would put him in ultimate power. That is what I think is ultimately their goal, as far as all this fear porn bullshit. But anyway, back to the news feeds that we're doing.
Yeah, what do you got? You got a pretty big scare tactic thing going.
Yeah, well, it's not even scare tactic. It's just fucking ridiculous, and I got to side with the Christian ministries on this only because I don't agree with this at all. This is very infringing upon not only people's religious freedoms, but also people's, rights as just people.
Are they not letting people wear colanders on their head at the D&D anymore?
Yeah, no. I mean, it's kind of similar to that. I mean, if you want to get technical, it's kind of similar.
Alright, what do you got?
Government tells Christian ministers to perform same-sex weddings or face jail or fines.
Really?
Yeah, ADFmedia.org reported last Saturday that officials threatened to punish senior citizen couple, both ordained pastors, if they decline to officiate same-sex ceremonies. Coeur d'Alene, Idaho, Alliance Defending Freedom attorneys filed a federal lawsuit and a motion for a temporary restraining order Friday to stop officials in Coeur d'Alene, Idaho from forcing two ordained Christian ministries to perform wedding ceremony for same-sex couples. City officials told Donald Knapp that he and his wife Evelyn, both ordained ministers who run Hitching Post Wedding Chapel, are required to perform such ceremonies or face months in jail or thousands of dollars in fines. The city claims its non-discrimination ordinance requires the Knapps to perform same-sex wedding ceremonies, now that the courts have overridden Idaho's voter-approved constitutional amendment that affirmed marriage as the union of a man and a woman.
It sounds like the Prop 8 thing all over again out there.
Well, the thing of it is that I'm just going to touch lightly on this, and then we're going to go to our halftime thing, because this is also going to be our main debate today. For a city to come in and tell you that you have to do something according to their laws is one thing, okay? But the government, which is higher than, like county or even state laws that are enacted, the government tells us we have right to religious freedoms. In order to have right to religious freedoms, people who don't believe in same-sex marriages, like most Christians don't believe in same-sex marriage, because as opposed, it states in the Bible that it's an abomination. The that that needs to be respected first and foremost. Freedom of religion needs to be respected first and foremost, rather than laws of the land. And this is what we got into last week in the weekly report. We were trying to think of that earlier. Yeah, that's what we got into: religious standpoints, laws of the land, so on and so forth. But we're going to get more into this conversation in just a few minutes. We're going to go ahead and cut to the halftime.
Yeah, go ahead and
What do we got for that?
We got boobies.
Oh yeah, we finally got boobies. Finally got boobies back. She did a segment last week, but we finally got her to do the segment that she needs to do this week. So.
And we've also gotten a hold of Mr. Needles, and he will be returning to the weekly report in November as soon as he comes back from whatever he's doing in Alfred. In fact, he said next week he'll be sending us a little tidbits footage
Of what he's doing or what he's trying to do.
I don't know, honestly. That's a good question. We'll just have to wait and see now, won't we?
Alright guys,
Never know what that little son of a bitch is.
For now, let's cut to our halftime, and we'll be right back.
Hello, YouTube Universe. This is good old Grandmaster Revan. Are you looking for daily, unbiased political videos? Come check out my channel at youtube.com/GrandmasterRevan, or you can find me in the featured activist section on the Worldwide Resistant Networks channel at youtube.com/Resistance2058. Remember, knowledge is free.
I want to talk a little bit about how America is becoming a modern-day Sodom and Gomorrah in some aspects. We are losing our morals and ethics in the United States. If you tune into the History Channel, they got Larry the Cable Guy telling penis and fart jokes to Cub Scouts. If you tune into Discovery Channel, they're teaching your children how we originated from aquatic mermaids. I didn't tune in to Fox News to hear about Kim Kardashian's ass cheek implants. There is a Beavis and Butthead mentality going about in this country, and it's contagious.
The joys of being a woman, having your own titties
Fucking boobies, man.
I love boobies.
Hell yeah. You know what? I would have to say that if we had to have a substitute for Mr. Nichols, boobies would be it. What do you think?
I can see her wind up having her own show at some point.
Hey, that's not a bad idea. You should hit her up about that.
Yeah, for sure. Definitely bringing some views. Just stand there for fucking like 5 minutes shaking her tits. Fucking 20 million views. We're rich. Ching, 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 ching.
Exactly. Anyway, let's get right into our main debate here. Unless you got something to say. I see you.
Master debate here. Master debaters.
Alright, basically it's the same subject we were talking about before we went to our halftime here. The government tells Christian ministries to perform same-sex marriages or face jail time and fines. Infringement upon constitutional rights right there, guys. You know, the president has already done this with our First Amendment right to picket in front of the fucking White House. In fact, we're not even allowed to picket on the fucking block anymore.
Yeah.
We can't even picket across the street. We got, you know, our First Amendment rights being infringed upon. We got our Second Amendment rights, you know, basically being infringed upon by people trying to take away our fucking right to bear arms. We've discussed this several times. I'm not going to get into that, but
no need.
You know, and now people are trying to take our religious freedoms away too. I mean, how much more fucking freedoms are you guys going to fucking infringe upon? You know, not just the fact that, you know, I'm not trying to do this just as a political thing. I'm trying to do it as a religious thing here too. My beliefs are not necessarily to condone same-sex marriage, but I'm not all opposed about it either. You know, my grandmother was a lesbian.
Yeah.
You know, I have people who are gay in my family. You know, I understand where they're coming from, and they're not bad people. I love them to death. You know, and you know what? Their rights are their rights. If they want to join in marriage, that's their thing. But you know what? Don't call it fucking marriage. Don't call it marriage. Marriage is between a man and a woman, as stated in the Bible. Call it something else. Call it domestic partnership. You know, call it fucking. I mean, because that's literally what it's called in fucking New York.
Initially, that's what they wanted. All they wanted in the first place, they wanted to have the same rights as straight married couples, right? As far as the legalities were concerned.
But now they want to be able to be married in a church and this and that. Well, okay, well, how could you seriously be married in a church when the church does not condone same-sex marriage? Yeah. That just makes no fucking sense.
Well, here's my nitpick with that. If, you know, homosexuals want to have their rights respected, correct?
Mm-hmm.
Well, at the same time, you've got to respect the rights of others, even if it conflicts with you. Okay? They're letting you have your same-sex marriage. You can go to the courthouse. You can be married by a judge. You know, you got that right now.
You could
be married the rights of others to.
You could even be married by a religious pastor or somebody in your religion if you wanted to, but do it privately at your home. Do not, you know, reduce the sanctity of the church for your own personal fucking feelings. That's not fair to the other Christians who are devout Christians.
Yeah.
You know?
Well, there are other religions out there that are not necessarily Christian or Judeo-Christian based that will marry you. I mean, even some Christian religions will take that step and marry you. But, you know, as you said, you know, there's no getting around this. The Bible, especially focused in the Old Testament, is anti-homosexuality. You know, it doesn't go into great detail about it. But
Sodom and Gomorrah was destroyed because of sexual deviant acts.
Yeah, but that wasn't just homosexuality.
Yeah, but
that was all kinds of crazy shit going on there.
Yeah, but that was sodomy. It was, you know, it was fucking same sex. It was, you know, it was homosexuality, incest, all kinds of shit.
You know, there was a lot of shit going on there. And I brought this up many times before. I mean, many, many years ago, it was considered a taboo to consider same-sex relationships. Many decades before that, it was taboo to have interracial relationships. You know, what's the next step in that? You know, it seems to be a gradual dissension. You know, and
there is a guy out there that married an inanimate object. I don't remember what this inanimate object is.
It was his pillow.
Oh,
that Japanese guy who married his pillow. Yeah, I remember that shit.
He married his fucking pillow. I mean, who does this kind of shit? I mean, we have lost our fucking minds as people. This is fucking getting out of control.
You know, I'm all about to each their own. You know, what goes on in your bedroom is your own fucking business. But don't force it on other people.
The thing about
it on the rights of somebody else,
even
then it's not a good thing.
Yeah, but same-sex marriage, I don't disagree with it, but call it something else. It's not fucking marriage. It is not. Marriage, it's, as stated in the Bible, is between a man and a woman.
Well, here's your problem. Separation of church and state. If the country was run by the church like the Catholic used to run the United Kingdom back in the times of the Crusades and whatnot, pretty much the church was the governing body. At which point, those rules would apply, but being that we live in a country where there's a separation of church and state, the terms of many things tend to get skewed, especially with marriage or anti-Semitism.
I'm not even talking about that, though. What I'm talking about is the basic fucking act of marrying somebody of the same sex.
Yeah.
It needs to be called something different, okay? I don't condone it, but I'm not opposed to it either. You know, I don't not believe that somebody who loves somebody of the same sex should be allowed, you know, I'm not opposed to the fact that they should be allowed to join in a forever type bond. I believe in that. I believe that, you know, it's their right as people to do that. But on the same token, too, it's not your you gotta respect the religious rights of others. Thank you. You put the words right in my fucking mouth right there, dude. That is exactly what I'm trying to get at.
If you want your rights respected, you gotta respect the rights of others. It's the door swings both ways on every single argument. No matter what the argument is, the door will swing both ways. Okay? And granted, there's going to be times when the rights of one is going to clash with the rights of others. You got to find a neutral ground here. Okay? You want to be able to have your legally binding contract to your spouse, whether same-sex or not. Fine. You got it. But don't infringe on the rights of others.
My fucking thing about this whole thing is that it is the fucking trendy thing to do right now. It is to be gay. It is fucking trendier than fucking hell is to be gay right now. Not even just gay. I don't mean gay as in a term of dude loving a dude. I'm thinking of terms of metrosexual. People who pluck their eyebrows and wear fucking eyeliner. You know what, guys? Quit wearing your sister's fucking clothes. Wearing your girlfriend's fucking underwear. You know, grow a fucking pair of balls and be a man. Let your fucking beard grow. Let your fucking balls hang down, dude. Fucking who cares, man? You know what? You don't have to be all pretty and fucking maked up. You know what I mean?
No.
A man's a man. You know, a woman is going to be attracted to you regardless of whether you pluck your fucking eyebrows or paint your fingernails, motherfucker. You know? You don't have to be like that. It doesn't have to be like that. Well, and I'm not just talking about gays. I'm not just talking about lesbians. I'm talking about metrosexuals, too. Like, you know, if you want to do that shit in the privacy of your own home, that's one thing. But don't be fucking walking down the street and let me see that shit, dude. It makes me sick. I don't want to see that fucking shit, dude. It makes me think you're a fucking pussy-ass bitch. You know what I mean? It makes other people think you're like that, too. And then, you know, there's the little percentage of people who fucking, you know, of women who like that kind of thing in a guy. Oh, he's in touch with his feminine side. Oh, you know, well, you know what? Okay, more power to you. Do that shit in your own home. Don't fucking be walking down the street in your wife's fucking underwear or bra. I don't want to see that shit.
Yeah, I mean, if you're going to become a woman, you know, that's your thing, but Michelle Obama.
Why did you have to say that? Now we got to go into that.
Nah, I ain't got to go into that. We could say that for another topic, but, you know, you did bring up the metrosexual thing, but you do have those people who do change genders, at which point, you know, that's your thing, but, you know, keep it to yourself. You don't got to go on advertisements like, hey, I'm a chick now, I used to have a penis, you know. What's that going to get you? You know, we respect the fact that you did it, that's your thing, we respect that.
Now be that. You know what I mean? Yeah. You don't have to reminisce on your past. If that was something you didn't want to be,
don't sit there and gloat about it. If you're a woman now, you're a woman treated like every other woman does. Like, right. I'm just a fucking person.
Right. And that's what I'm trying to get about the gays and the lesbians who want a same-sex marriage and, you know, sanctify their relationship and, you know, make it official through, you know, a forever bond and, you know, on paperwork and make it, you know.
Okay, that's fine.
My thing is, if you're gonna fucking want the same rights as married couples, then you're gonna go through the same fucking bullshit that married couples go through. Okay? Yeah. You're gonna get taxed. You're gonna get fucking, you know, when you split up, you're gonna get a divorce. Half of the shit's gonna go to your spouse, the other half's gonna go to you. You know, you're gonna have to deal with alimony payments. You have to deal with, you know, whether if or not you have adopted kids or not, you have to deal with those kids now. You gotta deal with that shit. You know, you gotta deal with the consequences of your actions. Not just the glory and the fucking goodness behind all the shit that you're doing. You gotta deal with the bullshit, too, at the end of your relationship, if that's what happens. Not saying that will happen. Just saying, if it does happen, you gotta deal with the consequences of your actions, too. And my main thing about this whole fucking topic,
you take all of it, not just the perks.
right? Exactly. And see, that's what most people, most gays that I know. I have friends who are gay. Okay, I got friends on my fucking Facebook page that are gay. Okay,
same here.
And they're cool as fuck. I love these guys, man. You know, they're funny. They're fucking cool to hang out with. You know, they're nice people, good-hearted people. I don't have a problem with gay people. I don't have a problem with lesbians. I don't have a problem with metrosexuals, other than the fact that these types of people, more often than not, infringe their bullshit upon me.
Basically, you're saying it's fine, just don't cram it down my throat. Don't fucking rub it in my face.
Right.
It's like religious extremists and whatnot. It's like that meme that goes around online every time. It's like, religion is like a penis. It's a perfectly fine thing to have, but the second you whip it out and start waving it in my face, that's where we got a problem.
Exactly.
Okay, so now that that's clarified.
And like I said, I got friends who are gay. I got friends who are lesbians. I have family who are gay and lesbians. I got friends and family who are metro. Yeah. You know what I mean? I got guys that like to pluck their fucking eyebrows. I know guys who like to fucking, you know, I don't know how to explain it, but you know what?
That's their thing.
Yeah.
And they don't force it on you either.
Right.
Yeah.
And see, we're in an understanding. I'm in an understanding with these people who I am friends with that, you know, they know that I'm not gay, so they don't fuck with me like that. You know what I mean? Like every once in a while we'll play a joke, very funny. But they know not to push it overboard. You know what I mean? I have no problem with gay people. I don't. Like I said, my grandma was a lesbian, and she was one of the fucking smartest, greatest people that I've ever fucking known in my life. My sister's dad is a homosexual. He's a fucking sweetheart. He's great. He's a good guy. He means the best, and you know, I know a couple of my friends. I don't want to put first and last name out there because I don't want to, you know, target him at all. But his name is Billy. He's a fucking cool motherfucker. I love this guy, man. You know, he posts on his fucking Facebook wall all the time, dude, and I see his stream through my page, and he says the funniest fucking things and things that I agree with, and you know, I love the guy. Who else? Who else can I think about that? My aunt.
Long story short, you know a lot of people.
Yeah, I know a lot of people who are gay and lesbian. My cousin Megan, she's a lesbian, and she's one of the sweetest people too. She's funny as fuck too. I mean, you know, and I don't condone it. I don't, not in any way, shape, or form, because I myself am straight 100%.
Yeah, that's their thing, not yours.
Yeah, and they know that, and it's cool. But my thing is this whole marriage fucking thing right here. Okay? I'm just gonna fucking skim through this real quick and tell you what I agree and what I don't agree with.
Okay.
These Christian ministers are going to be fined and face jail time. I think Anonymous needs to get on the fucking camera and just rip these fucking cities a new asshole for all this shit. This is bullshit. Oh. It is fucking disgusting that the state is going to force a Christian religious-based ministry to perform same-sex marriage when they don't believe in it.
Yeah, and
that is against their religious fucking freedoms.
And it's not like the Westboro Baptist Church who are saying, oh, God hates gays and shit like that.
Right.
Know? They're just a couple people minding their own business.
Right.
Exercising their faith and having the right of their faith and their belief system threatened.
Right.
Which is a violation of the Constitution. And it's not imposing, you know, their beliefs and their standpoint. They're refusing to marry gay couples. It's not infringing on the rights of gay couples because the gay couples can go down to the courthouse and be married in front of the judge. And there are other ministers and churches out there who will do it. You know, you just got to respect people's boundaries. If, you know, gays want their rights.
My thing is
protected, you know, and respected, and you got to respect the rights of others as well. It's like the fucking smokers. They wanted the restaurants. We gave them the fucking restaurants. They didn't want smoking on the plane. We gave them the whole fucking plane.
Yeah. And not just that, we gave them outside of the restaurants on the main strip in San Francisco and San Bernardino as well.
Yeah.
You were not allowed to sit outside of a restaurant and smoke in San Francisco, sorry. In San Francisco and in Sacramento, you are not allowed to smoke outside of a restaurant because of the strip. People walk by the strip and you're infringing upon their rights to clean air. Well, you know what? In my personal opinion...
Well, what's the law now? You can only smoke in your apartment under a blanket with the lights out?
Right, exactly. And my personal opinion, too, about this whole thing, dude, is infringing upon constitutional rights, and I'm going to go off on a little tangent here, just to make a point. For those of you who agree with me, cool. For those of you who don't agree with me, cool. But on this aspect, I know almost 99% of people who I've talked to do not agree with the fact that you have to have medical coverage before January 1st of this next year, or you're going to be taxed. You're going to get your fucking taxes taken from you. It's going to be, it's ridiculous. You are being forced to purchase a product
that you don't want to purchase. Yeah.
That is infringing upon your constitutional rights of life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness. And I say that all the time, but that encompasses everything in the Constitution: life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness.
Yep.
People who do not have medical coverage in this next year are going to be taxed. They're going to get fines. If you don't pay your taxes, you don't pay your fines, you go to jail.
Well, here's the thing. In Canada, they have free healthcare. It's taken out as part of your taxes. You got free healthcare. You got free dental. All that shit is fucking covered. And it's nothing like Obamacare. Absolutely nothing like it.
But Obamacare here is the quote-unquote equivalent to free healthcare in Canada. That's what we have to offer as of now, because this is a new thing that's happening. We're doing a trial thing. My thing is, I understand it's important to have healthcare. Okay, yeah. I do. I believe that being in good health is important. I believe that having dental care is important, and I believe that having vision care is important. I believe in all that. But if I don't want to have fucking vision, dental, and health care, I shouldn't be forced to have it. If I want to fucking suffer, I want to fucking suffer. You don't need to tell me that I need to purchase healthcare. You don't need to tell me that I need to go down and waste my fucking time to sign up for healthcare that I'm never going to fucking use. You know what? I'm on Medi-Cal right now. I got full Medi-Cal benefits. I have a tooth in the back of my fucking mouth right now that has been bugging me for the last 3 fucking years. You know why I haven't gotten taken care of? Because I don't want to fucking deal with it. I don't want to. And for you to tell me that I have to, fuck you.
Yep.
It's pissing me off about this shit. Now, Now, to go back to our original topic here, I'm just saying, on that discussion right there,
don't infringe on the rights of others.
It is unconstitutional for you to tell that ministry that they have to perform same-sex marriage. That is unconstitutional. Just like it's unconstitutional for you to tell me that I have to have health care.
And just like it's unconstitutional for anybody else to tell you that you can't get married.
Right.
You can get married.
Yeah.
But don't fucking force other people to marry you who don't want to fucking marry you.
Exactly.
For religious
Find
marriage.
somebody that will do it.
Violating their rights. You don't want your rights violated, don't violate the rights of others. Pure and fucking simple. You don't want somebody shitting in your backyard? Don't shit in theirs.
Exactly. So this is a federal lawsuit that's going on.
Yeah.
And they have temporarily, it says federal lawsuit and a motion for a temporary restraining order to stop officials in Idaho from forcing 2 ordained Christian ministers to perform wedding ceremonies for same-sex couples. Good for you.
Yeah, stand up for yourself.
Yeah, good for you guys. You know what?
Yeah.
A restraining order is the best thing that you can do. It's the only thing you can do at this point, other than exercise your constitutionally given freedom to religion. In fact, if you guys ever see this, if you guys ever get wind of this video and you guys see this, in fact, if I could ask my listeners, our listeners, rather,
to share this
this as much as you can to get this video out to these people. You can use the Bible in your defense. Yeah. I don't know if you know that. You can use the Bible in your defense. In the Bible, it says that a man and a man should not lay down together. A woman and a woman shall not lay down together. And that is your constitutional religious freedom protected right there.
If you swear on the Bible, you have the right to use the Bible
as your defense.
That is your part of your constitutional rights.
Right. Now, it also says that the Hitching Post Wedding Chapel is the name of the place, I guess. They're the ones that are the people who are covering this same-sex marriage thing. That the city officials are telling Donald Knapp and his wife Evelyn, they have to perform ceremonies or face jails or face months in jail or thousands of dollars in fines.
That's unconstitutional.
Very unconstitutional. I mean,
but it's not surprising though. And I'm sorry to cut you off, but this is something that came to mind earlier. It's not surprising, you know, especially in regards to what we talked about last week with this quote being the end times.
Right.
What does it talk about in
the
end times?
Revelation.
Christians are made into the enemy.
Right.
So,
I mean,
there you go, demonizing Christians.
Yeah, is this the first signs of the beginning to the end? You know?
They've been decapitating Christians in third world countries
for thousands of years, dude.
Thousands of years. But even more so now, you hear it a lot more.
Right.
And now you see Christians being demonized and labeled as hate groups and whatnot.
Right.
And anti-sympathetic and anti-Semitic and all this other shit.
Right.
And now, you know, they're facing prosecution for exercising their religious rights.
Right.
It seems to be heading that general direction. And it needs to stop. We, the people, need to fucking stop this shit. Everybody's rights need to be respected, whether religious or otherwise. Our rights need to be respected.
This also states that that wedding ceremonies, now that the Knapps are to perform same-sex wedding ceremonies, now that the courts have overridden Idaho's voter-approved constitutional amendment that affirmed marriage as a union of a man and a woman. So basically, they've amended
they overturned what the people said.
Right.
Which really pisses me off, because isn't this supposed to be a country by the people, for the people?
Right.
How is it by the people, for the people, if you're overturning what the people said? It was the same thing in California with the Prop 8. Prop 8 passed, and it got overturned. It's like, okay, you know, I understand the equality of rights and everything, but, you know, if the people fucking say, we don't want gay marriage, you can't fucking force it. You know,
right.
It's fucked up, dude.
Call it marriage. Call it homosexual marriage. Call it lesbian marriage. Whatever you want to call it. Don't call it fucking marriage. This is bullshit.
Yeah, if the people fucking say something, and this is a country by the people, for the people, fucking respect what the people fucking say. Or get your asses up out of office, or be removed. Because it's coming. We the people are sick of your shit.
And I stress this more than anything else, other than the constitutional, infringement. I am stressing, Anonymous, you need to get on this shit, man. You guys, I can't stress to you enough how important your guys' work is. The Million Mass March coming up.
Yeah.
Do some work there, even, if you can, as far as this stuff's concerned.
Yeah.
This is ridiculous. Our constitutional freedoms are being infringed upon, and nobody is fucking batting an eyelash.
Yep. And these people aren't attacking gays or anything like the Westboro Baptist Church does.
Yeah.
These are just people who are having
minding
their
their
religious
own fucking
rights.
business.
Yeah, these are religious people who are having their rights infringed upon for the sake of somebody else's rights. There needs to be a balance. There are ministers out there who will perform same-sex marriages. Don't fucking force your ideologies on somebody else.
You know what this comes down to, probably, and I can't affirm to this, but it comes down to one fucking gay couple that went into the church to look at it to get married, and then they were turned away. So they're gung-ho fucking lesbians or gays that are pissed off because they got turned away. Well, you know what? Find another fucking bishop. Find another pastor. Find another minister. Whatever fucking religion you are, find somebody. You could find somebody online that will fly to your fucking house.
Yep.
And do it in your backyard.
Yeah, they'll
Quit fucking up things for other people.
Yeah, quit infringing on the rights of others. You don't want your rights infringed upon? Don't infringe on the rights of others. It's as pure as simple as that. Learn to coexist, or don't.
Life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness. Now that applies to gays too.
Yeah.
And I'm not denying that. But there are people out there that will marry you. You don't need to infringe upon that one church because you want that one church to fucking marry you.
Yep.
You know what I mean? Find another place.
You want people to respect the rights that you're gay? Fine. Respect the rights of others and their religious freedoms to not be forced to marry you because their scripture says that
otherwise.
It's contrary to their beliefs.
Right.
Okay? Don't force people to go contrary to their religious beliefs and exercising their religious freedoms for your sake. You have the right to get married. There are pastors who will marry you. There are courts who will marry you. You've got the resources available to you. It's not as though you're being barred all the way around from getting married anywhere. Just respect the rights of others. You don't want people shitting in your yard, don't shit in theirs. That's all I've got to say on it. I think
I think I've said all I can on this shit too, and I've repeated myself a couple of times here, and I don't want to keep repeating myself. So,
and I don't like repeating myself. It pisses me off.
But for you government officials who are infringing on our rights, and this goes for the president, this goes for the vice president, this goes for everybody who believes in amending the Constitution to further your gain and line your pockets.
Start fucking packing.
Fucking get the fuck out, dude. You know what I mean?
Yep, start packing. You either leave or you get your asses evicted.
Seriously.
Because the people, we far outnumber you, and you think the military and the police are going to fucking help you out? The police are already waking up. The military personnel are already waking up on the highest fucking levels. You can't buy the majority. If you want to kill the majority, you can't buy the majority that you're going to kill. They're not going to kill themselves. You know, Soldier A isn't going to kill Americans when he knows that his family is part of that criteria as well.
Right.
It just ain't going to happen. It ain't going to happen when his family or friends are on that fucking kill list.
Right. And see, we didn't agree very much this time on this debate.
Well, actually, we did quite a bit. You and I do pretty much agree on this.
That's what I'm saying. We didn't disagree on this too much.
Yeah. Well, you and I share a lot of the same ideologies, and sometimes you don't even know it's your job to disagree with me. Sometimes you just can't.
I can't disagree this time, you know. You can't disagree with me. I mean, it's just plain and fucking simple, black and white. It's as fucking clear as crystal. You could go to the fucking museum in Philadelphia and read the Constitution right there, the actual document. They have it in glass. You can read it yourself.
The rights of the people shall not be infringed.
Yep. You can
and
read
that
it yourself.
applies to everybody. No one person's rights are not above or below anybody else's.
Right.
And that's all there is to say on the matter. Until next time, I'm the Tin Man.
And I'm Lucid.
And we're pissed.
Fuck yeah.
See you next week.